and welcome back to W Rated, the show where we willingly watch the world's worst rated movies. Today, you've joined us on another episode of this year's Road to Razzies, which is our annual season of episodes looking at the nominations for the controversial Golden Raspberry Awards. This season, they are awarding the worst of 2025. For any new listeners, I'm Daisy, and as always, I'm joined by podcast triple threat co-creator, host, and editor Claire. Claire, would you like to tell us what we're going to be doing in this episode? As we're not focusing on one film, we'll be focusing on multiple films.
Yes, so we are looking at the category of worst remake, ripoff, or sequel. There are 5 films nominated for this year. They are Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Smurfs, Snow White, and War of the Worlds. So we've already covered Snow White and War of the Worlds in 2 separate full episodes, as they are also the most nominated films this year with 6 noms each. So we've spoken about them, we might reference them, but we're not going to talk much about them today. So what we are going to be talking about in this episode, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Smurfs, which also does pick up another nomination for Worst Screen Combo in James Corden and Rihanna. Anywhere you want to start?
Maybe we could just look at what some commonalities or what's been included in this year, because we've got a few
I'm annoyed
horrors.
that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is included, because Five Nights at Freddy's was included the year that came out. I believe that was the 2024.
Was it though? Because I thought it was only one actor nom.
Was it an actor nom?
Yeah, because I actually rewatched the first one today.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sure it was in the Razzies, but I'd already seen it.
Right.
And then I was like, do you know what though? I'm not sure. I'm going to go and take a look. And it was just a random acting nomination that it was just the aunt
if you
from the
didn't
first
like
film.
the first one, what did you expect from the second one? But that makes more sense.
So we've got a couple of horrors. We've got an animated film, more towards, I would say, the kids side rather than family film. And then the 2 we've already spoken about, which is the Snow White live action reboot, which again is family orientated, and then the War of the Worlds with our power
Amazon
Ice Cube
orientated.
Yeah, which is tech conglomerate propaganda orientated, but based on a classic story. So I think, well, and you could probably say as well, Snow White, classic story. Smurfs are quite beloved as an original creation. And then when you look at Five Nights at Freddy's, you've got something very similar there in terms of a beloved sort of a horror game and series. I don't know how beloved I Know What You Did Last Summer was at the time it came out.
Deeply.
Okay.
It was a rip-off of Scream, so like your mileage varied then, but it was part of the new cool teen slasher wave. It was like, this is a moment, we're here. Teens are hot and they're murdering each other. Like it was a time.
What I found really interesting about it though, when I was reading up about it, is that the screenwriter is also the screenwriter of Scream, but he wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer first, and then that was optioned after the success of Scream.
And also Dawson's Creek.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Williamson, right?
Yes. Were there any murderous?
No, they did do a spooky episode for Halloween. But Dawson's bedroom is entirely covered in Steven Spielberg movie posters. Apart from, there's a massive poster for I Know What You Did Last Summer, because it came out at a very similar time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kevin Williamson ruling my life, ruling the teen 90s, just having a time.
So as to be expected, I think, with the purpose of this category, usually, and I'm picking up on what you said about the Five Nights at Freddy's thing as well, is that usually it's something where it's really beloved and then there's a sequel that kind of, because it's not its own category of film.
You ruined
it's
my
the
childhood.
The purpose of it being a remake or a sequel. So it's a really I quite like this category. I think it's a really interesting one to look at because you get to explore the original, etc. That being said, there tends to be quite a lot of repeats here
Mhm.
because of the amount of films that are released every year anyway that tend to be some kind of IP based film. So I'd be interested in looking back at the stats, and we mentioned doing a stats sort of like a data episode at some point. Looking back now, we've done a few years, but I'd be interested to see how many times a film has only shown up in this category but not everywhere
Mm.
else.
Be interesting as well, because I wonder how long this category has existed. It's existed as
That's
long as
true.
we've been doing this, but that's only 4 or 5 years. So I
Mhm.
wonder at what point did it come in the 2010s when sequels took over, or did it
Yeah.
exist longer, or is it one of those categories that has evolved and originally it was rip off and then it became Pummy sequel and then they added in rip
Yeah.
off, you know?
Yeah, that would make sense. That would be really interesting to look at. But I think, yeah, it's very much a category of this time,
Mm,
considering the amount. I think we've. I think it might be the quiz we go to. They've mentioned before about how many, usually at the end of year once, how many films that have come out have been a sequel
yeah.
of some kind, an IP or whatever, versus how many actual original films there are. Um, so it's definitely an more of an epidemic now. I think sequels have always been
Yeah.
they've always been there, but there've been a lot of straight to DVD, or that kind of thing. So it's definitely overall run in our cinemas now. That being said, doesn't mean there can't be some really good ones and ones that we enjoy and good. You loved the Halloween Lego
Mhm.
sequel series, right?
Mhm. I did. I did.
Um, so that's not to say that they can't be good ones. I think
Mhm.
that the good ones may be fewer and far
Yeah.
between potentially. It's a
Well,
lot of
it's
reliance on just, hey, I know that person. Oh, they said that thing again.
It's because as well, this like legacy quill half remake, half reboot trend took off originally when there were franchises that still had ideas left, whereas now it's what franchises are left that we haven't done yet, quick, get
Yeah.
them into production. They're not being made because there's interest in them, they're being made because studios think they'll make money.
And I guess they do because they keep making them.
Well, so very interestingly, if we kind of start with I Know What You Did Last Summer, again, we
Hmm.
can move around, but that actually dropped on Netflix in the last week or two. So that is now, it wasn't when I watched it on Netflix, but it's now available on Netflix.
Do you mean
And
the original
no,
I Know What You Did Last Summer? The
no,
new one?
the new one, because for the
Oh.
last 3 days, it might only be on Netflix US, but it's definitely on
Oh, okay.
Netflix because for
It's
the
on
last,
Sky because that's what I watched it on.
so maybe it's just dropped in America, but all over social media now, I'm just seeing loads of people talking about how amazing it was.
Oh,
When it came out last summer, I kept seeing loads of people talking about how bad it was. So it seems to
interesting.
have dropped on streaming and just being completely reclaimed already less than a year since its release.
Different audiences, perhaps.
Mm,
People going to the cinema to see something versus seeing it on streaming and giving it a go. There's
yeah,
so much less to lose
yeah.
than paying for a cinema ticket, going out of your way in the day, possibly buying multiple snacks, that kind of
Hmm.
thing. I think we've mentioned this before, is that there's so much more riding on it.
Yeah.
Um, and the enjoyment and the expectation versus just, oh, should we try this? And the thing is, I guess the people that, of course, you can make comments if you haven't finished it, but I imagine that you have that choice, right?
Hmm.
Like, whereas if you're partway through, you've paid the ticket, you're just going to sit there stewing and being annoyed at the film, aka me, whilst watching The Strangers,
Yeah.
which we'll get to.
Which I
um
thought Strangers Chapter 2 was part of this category,
So
and
did
no.
I. So did I. I was so excited to talk about it in this
Yeah,
category. But no.
it's for one random supporting actress
And we'll get into how ridiculous that is
in that
when we get to
episode
that
coming
one.
soon.
But yeah, I thought it was like pretty much an all horror category this year
Same.
before I re-looked back at it and realised that actually, no, I've just had the pleasure of, and I don't mean sarcastically because I
Mm,
do love watching horror films. I've had the pleasure of watching 5 horror films in a row for this because I
yeah.
watched all the prequels to
Mhm.
both of the horror films.
So I'm quite jealous. I didn't watch any of the I Know What You Did Last Summers because I have seen the original a lot. It was one of the first horror movies I ever watched. I had it on VHS. Before I had it on VHS, I used to rent it from Blockbuster or Primetime Video, my version of Blockbuster, all the time. I'm a big fan of that film, but I've actually never seen the sequel. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I tried watching it once, like when I was a teen, and it just didn't click for me, and I never went back to it. So, based on the teaser and credit see bit of this
Well,
new one,
precisely.
I will go back and give it a go. But yeah, so I didn't do that. So I'm very jealous that you've seen I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
I also though picked up that wouldn't really matter for this new one, which is why I didn't seek it out.
No, there was
Whereas
a few callbacks.
the original really does
Oh
matter.
yeah, no, and I'm glad that you said that. And I usually do look it up online to be like, is this actually a sequel or is it just a reboot, etc. But you did say to me that it was definitely a sequel of at least the first one, and I'm glad that I made the time to watch that, because I think that's how to best judge it as a sequel, right? Because we're not judging it as a film by itself. It's not nominated for Worst Picture. It's nominated for Worst Remake or Rip-Off or Sequel. So it's good to have the whole view. And I really enjoyed the first two. I didn't watch the kind of third kind of...
It's not canon. It
because
doesn't.
it's not...
It doesn't exist. No one.
Because it wasn't listed as the sequel of whatever. I really loved the first one. It felt cozy. It felt Scream like, and it was just like, oh, these actors were just at the prime. Like, they were just great. Really, I'm pretty sure it was. Well, it would have been, I imagine, at the time anyway. But just had that filmed on film look. It looked great. It was campy in the right ways. It was silly in the right ways. But it
Ryan
held its
Philippe
own.
screaming.
It was just, and like Sarah Michelle Gellar's whole chase sequence and all of that. Like I saw a lot online that were just like, oh, it's just like, coming off the back of Scream, which was complete like turn on all the tropes. This is just trope heavy.
Yeah.
And I get that if you're gonna compare them and you're seeing the same screenwriter and being like, but if you think about the fact that it was the other way around. But I kind of liked that it was trope heavy, because they're quite, like, for me to go back to, that's why I like the genre sometimes,
And it was great for me because I watched it, God, I want to say I was like 9, but I probably was.
Oh my God, what?
I'm sure I was older, but then, at my 11th or 12th birthday party, we watched Carrie, so maybe I wasn't, like, I remember if I wasn't still in primary school, I was only in year 7 when I saw I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I don't think that the first one was as gory as the second one, though.
No, and I wonder if that's why, like, maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't like the second one, but, like, couldn't figure that out as a kid, and so, like, it was too... But, yeah, it was so great for me because it was my intro to horror. So, like, it didn't
It's a nice gateway horror, I think.
Didn't matter it was cliche, cheesy, overdone, because for me, and I assume a lot of people my age or a little bit older, that and Scream were our intros, and The Faculty and Urban Legend and all of those 90s teen slashers. So yeah, it didn't matter that they were cliched because we were baby new audiences.
And yeah, it was just a nice palate cleanser for me, I think. Just kind of going back to, I knew it was a classic. I knew a lot of people revered it, as one of the original kind of 90s teen slashers, and I can tell why, because when it works, it just works. It didn't like blow me out of the water. It wasn't like oh wow, this is totally new and fresh, but that it was just, I wasn't expecting that going in there for that. And it was funny because the second one is just like, how about we go again, but this time we'll take us to the Bahamas. And it's just like, hold on a second. So they are trying to do it a bit like different, because you'd never think to set a horror film in the Bahamas. And that's also what I like as well, is that it's set in the summer, so it's not all night kind of it is a little bit different, and I think I was looking at the characters and being like, oh, usually you'd maybe expect the main girl to be with the kind of the Ryan Felipe character,
Mhm.
who's a bit of an idiot or whatever, and then maybe she likes the other guy and all of this. But so I
Mhm.
did see that there was some little things that were kind of fresh there. And again, they didn't kind of overdo the kills to the point where I was like, wait, did Missy die? I can't, because it was very like
Yeah.
the whole thing was the build up
Mhm.
before like sort of all of the gruesome stuff. So I really loved that one. I really liked the second one as well as a follow up. I just loved that 90s look of the way films looked
Mm.
in the 90s. Just everything was like practical, everything was lit properly. Brandy is fantastic in the second one, I think, by the way. I don't think she did it anywhere close in that kind of end credit
Little, yeah.
scene. Yeah, I think she's lost that magic, although she wasn't
Mm.
directed very well in
Yeah.
that. Because I was looking forward to seeing her because I'd accidentally spoiled it for myself that she was in the remake. Bringing it on to the Lego sequel slash reboot slash sequel. Had you so you watched it specifically for this? You
I
hadn't
watched it
seen
specifically
it
this.
before.
I really wanted to catch it in the cinema, and I think it was during that mad rush where I was like doing loads of film music festivals and things. And then
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of negative reaction to it. People were
Mm-hmm.
saying it was like not just bad, like boring, bad, 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 and it would have taken a lot of effort to get out and go and see it. So I was like, ugh, fine, I won't bother then. I'm not missing anything. And so
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, I watched it for this.
And
I thought it was good. I
so did I. I quite
I
liked it.
liked it. And the funny thing, which is also why I think it's getting a little bit of reclamation all of a sudden, I personally thought this did an insanely better job of integrating new characters and legacy characters together than the Scream ones did. I'm on the record. The
Mm,
Scream franchise is one of my favourite franchises. Scream and Scream 4 are two of my favourite movies. I do not like Scream 5 and Scream 6. I've watched them both a couple of times. I do not like them. And one of the biggest reasons is that I do not understand why I'm meant to give a shit about any of these new characters. They are boring to me, and I don't
mm.
understand why Sydney or why Gail Weathers care about them. They are strangers to them. Why are they leaving their kids, their families, and their luxury to go and help some random teenagers they've never met? It just made absolutely no sense to me, and I thought they were really badly integrated. And then Scream 7 is, at time of recording, about to drop. The script has already leaked, the killers have already leaked.
No way, have
Yeah,
they?
yeah, and I keep seeing stuff all over my social media. I hadn't
Well, I
decided.
imagine actually that's a targeted
It's
thing because
very,
of how they've handled Melissa Barbera,
yes.
right?
So I hadn't
Barrera.
decided if I wanted to go and see it or not because I don't really like Scream 5 or 6. And I think Melissa Barrera is bad in them, but I think she is brilliant in other films such as Abigail and
Oh no, I meant
Your
the
Monster.
reason because she
No, no,
got
no, no.
sacked.
But
Oh, okay.
so I don't like her character, so her character being gone might actually
Uh,
improve the film to me. But
but
she's a good actress in other things, and the way she was
mm,
treated and being fired in the way she did is just awful and completely unjustifiable. And then they lost half the cast, half the crew, and then they've hobbled together this thing that the trailers make look like a bad to DVD sequel
oh
from like
really?
2005.
I don't think have
I've
I
seen the
seen
trailer
that?
in the cinema quite a few times, and my partner's
Okay.
really excited because he had never seen any of the Scream movies until last year. I introduced him to all of them, he'd never seen any of them, so he's now like high on the Scream train. So he
Um,
really wants to go and see this new one and wants
yeah.
me to go with him because he knows how much I love them. So I've been flip flopping, but now I also know exactly who the killer is and the reasoning behind it. So I'm like, well, that's even
That's
like, I
annoying.
don't, I think it looks shit. I don't agree with the behind the scenes decisions. I haven't liked the last two, but anyway, that's all the Scream stuff.
But
But
had you decided not to go to the cinema and then it came on streaming at some other
I'd give
time
it a
where
watch.
they're not really going to get any
Yeah,
kind of money from you,
yeah.
you know, you might have given it a watch, but
But
now you know, then
to
it's
bring it back to the I Know What You Did franchise, what I was saying there, sorry, and I lost myself on my train.
that's
What
right.
is
The
that
Scream train.
the Scream train? I think because there's been so much backlash to Scream 7 and so much has leaked and it's meant to be quite bad, people are looking back at I Know What You Did Last Summer from last year and going, actually, maybe this was quite good,
Ah.
and actually, maybe we judged this one too harshly, and actually, this one was a bit of a laugh. And it's
Do you
so
know
funny
what?
that they're constantly, those two franchises will never be able to be apart.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm looking back, and I actually gave it 3 stars when I watched it last night. And actually, I think realistically, after letting it sit a little bit longer, I probably would bump it up to 3.5.
I gave it 3, I believe, because some of the dialogue is
It was
atrocious.
cringes. Yeah.
But then I
But then,
discovered,
but also, but I was thinking about these kids. Well, they're
yeah,
not kids; they're college age. But compared to what you mentioned, the Scream cast,
yeah,
and you said they're really boring. I was like, at least these guys aren't boring.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
silly, and the stuff they say is cringe. But people do talk like that.
Well, and one of the things was
They
because
do say diva way too much. You know?
I found it really, really cringe, but I really settled into it by the end and I got used
Yeah.
to it. And then as it ended, I realised that it is written and directed by Jennifer Katin Robinson, who did the Netflix movie Do Revenge, which is one of the most
Yes.
cringy Gen Z movies that I adore with my whole heart.
Yeah.
I think is a
Yeah.
perfect movie. So I
It's
was,
kind of like Gen Z's
yeah,
Clueless,
yeah,
like without being anything near the plot, but just
and
the
just
packaging.
sprinkled as a love letter to 90s teen films
Yeah,
as well,
for sure.
all of the
Yeah,
references. So when her name came up at the end, I was like, oh, it all makes so much sense now.
yeah. And I much prefer films that do something like that,
Yeah,
which might not appeal to me wholeheartedly, but at least it keeps me
yeah,
interested
yeah.
and entertained. I think we will go into proper spoilers now,
Hmm.
but I think it was the reveal of the killer that kind of made me go, eh.
Which one, Killer 1 or
Uh,
Killer 2?
uh, so this is the problem, right? Is that they were looking for Sam Cooper, and I was like, "Who's Sam Cooper again?" Googled it, realized that it was her ex-boyfriend, knew that she was probably the killer. So I've kind of spoiled it for
Okay,
myself.
okay.
But then I also didn't think the reveal was very good,
I thought the reveal was very rushed. I was a bit
very
like,
Russian anticlimactic.
yes, but then because
But then
we were trying to figure
there's
out
more.
if it could be her because I think I was like, has she ever been in the room when there's a killing happened? And
Because it
we
was
were
just the
like,
bit when they were in the old department store, and then
yeah,
she came. Yeah.
but then she wasn't always there. So I had a question mark on her. I think I thought it was something to do with. I clocked that it was something to do with the mayor slash sheriff and him trying to
Mhm.
like gentrify the town. I clocked that it had to be something around that. But then yeah, when she was revealed as the killer, that's when I immediately was like, Freddy, something's up with Freddy because there's still more
Well,
here.
it was when he
That
shot
just
her. It was
yeah,
when he shot her, because I was like, hold on, why has he shot her?
yeah,
She
like
wasn't a threat anymore,
that's
and she
such
could have been reprimanded,
yeah.
and yeah, and that
That's
was a bit weird.
and I was like, oh, and so then I really loved that they revealed him as the killer because from the get go with Scream 5 and Scream 6, everyone's been saying it should have been Sydney. Sydney should have been Ghostface. It should have all like that's a way to
Right.
bring the legacy characters back because that again it made sense. Jennifer Love Hewitt wasn't in it that much, but they used her well.
Mhm.
She's now a psychology professor, so obviously she's interested in the psychology of this young girl who comes and seek, and also that left the town to go and seek her, unlike in Scream when they for some reason are like, huh, an old murderer is terrorizing a town I used to live in, better go to that town. No one in their right mind would. Whereas
Yeah.
they sought her out, and then the
Yeah.
fact that Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character still lives there, that he has an actual connection with the town, with one of the
And it
new
tracks completely
yeah.
with the first two films, yeah.
And so I really liked that it was like, yeah, why would he want to be involved? Because of this, because of that. And I was like, good on them. Bring him back. Have him be the bad guy. I love it. A little bit
Yeah.
sad because he always seemed like a nice guy, but he was
Sad, and
always
I
too on
feel
edge.
like they could have let it breathe a little bit more,
Mm.
because again, I feel it was a little bit rushed, because it was just like, I understand the motive, but let us feel the motive.
Yeah,
Let us feel that I really liked when he was like, they were going to forget about us, we need to
yeah,
bring, like, that feels like an unhinged connect the
yeah,
dots. I
yeah,
loved that. I did still feel sad because I was like, no, Ray, you're basically the hero in the
yeah,
second one.
yeah,
But it made sense, and I did like, but then after a little while, I think because I think it was the mixture of like the dialogue and everything, and it was pretty much also, I didn't, call me say this, but I didn't think that they did enough wrong at the beginning.
We were like, what?
That's not really their fault, really. It's
Like,
an accident, but
it
they
was
didn't try and kill the guy.
It was an accident. You were fucking around in the road. All you have to do is mildly lie about why you were in the road. So be like,
We weren't smoking, we weren't
we
drinking.
we dropped something. We had to get out of the car because someone was going to be sick. Some reason as to why your car was pulled over.
Yeah.
You did not kill a man. You did not run over a man. It accidentally caused someone to drive off a cliff, and then you tried to help them.
And they said it's manslaughter, and I'm like, I don't think
it's
that
not.
is.
We were like, and especially the thing that we were very annoyed about that as well. We're like, it didn't seem a strong enough reason to go through all of this drama. But as well, they're like, oh, we're gonna call my dad and he'll fix it.
Yeah.
Cool, then why did you need to lie? Why wouldn't your dad just fix it as, yeah, they stopped and saw the car and tried to help him?
Yeah, rather than scrub everything.
Like, it was.
It made me feel like they didn't want to do the whole hit and run, and that
Yeah.
maybe it was too. Because I feel like it could have been really interesting if perhaps they made it so these kids just didn't realise they hadn't done anything wrong, and that, but the key thing is still trying to do the body side, the second part. I think that would have been quite funny, that they were like arguing about whether it was manslaughter, and it was a very obviously not, but then they decide to get rid of the body, and then they're incriminated. Yeah, that would have been quite a different take. But no, I was like,
it was still better than I watched the first episode of the TV show because it was Scream.
Because I was going to ask about this, because not only was there like a weird offshoot sequel, but then there's pretty recently, a full series.
Sometime in the pandemic. I watched the first episode and guessed the killer in that first episode, and I literally just googled it and was like, yeah, that's it, done, tick. Do you want me to spoil it for you? Because it's
I never want to, just in case, but I also don't have a very good memory.
Well, it's just basically, it was a show that was desperately trying to be Pretty Little Liars, and to the point that I feel like they literally copied one of the reveals from Pretty Little Liars, and I was like...
Okay, well, I haven't seen that either, so...
Anyone who's watched Pretty Little Liars would have watched that show and been like, oh, this is what's happened, and lo and behold, it was exactly what had happened.
Right, I'm just looking at it because...
They did kill someone in that one.
Okay, because I got confused when I saw who was in what, because it's like the same font and everything that they've updated it to. Why have they done this? Why have they done a show and then a film? Because
the show did quite badly, I think, so they were like,
let's go again.
But I mean, that's what they did with Scream as well. There's a 3-season MTV Scream show that was had Wes Craven heavily involved, and then when he died, they just cancelled the show. Because apparently I've seen a lot of that recently again because people were really mad about Scream 7, and apparently he was going to do a new Nightmare-esque thing, which is what he did with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, that apparently the 4th season you were going to find out that it was all a TV show, and that then now all of the actors in the TV show are being stalked, but they were going to be in the universe that the Scream people were in, so they were basically making Stab the TV show.
Well, I was gonna say, so this is not Scream 3 then.
So I think 2, 3, that's apparently what the plan was for the scrapped.
That's fun. Season. It's very Scream, so
and very Wes Craven.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's just absolutely saturated with iterations and stuff, but I think we could probably agree there, which is cool, because I've only just watched this original franchise, that they added some new energy into it.
They honoured the old energy. I don't think they ruined even the fact that they do make the hero of the first two the villain in this one.
Well, this is what I was going to say when you said about the Sydney thing.
Yeah.
I think that they've taken that on board and gone, let's go with someone a little bit less beloved in a less beloved franchise and do it there instead.
But yeah, I don't think it ruins his character, because I do think it makes sense that his character...
It tracks.
Yeah, he would be trapped there and be old and jaded and, just...
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's in line with his character. It doesn't seem to step out. But yeah, this wasn't a perfect movie. It wasn't a great movie, but we had fun watching it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. Some of the costumes were awful. Some of the dialogue was super cringe. Some of the choices the characters made were ridiculous, but that is what you say about like 80% of horror films. And I just think, not just in general, but even last year, I saw so many worse movies. There are so many worse movies than this.
I'd watch this again, which goes to show that I definitely enjoyed it.
Maybe there weren't that many sequels and remakes last year for once, because this was like a weaker category, in terms of, I thought a lot of them were all right, but yeah, I don't think this needs to be here.
No,
and apparently, and now they're talking about doing a sequel to it, so clearly didn't do too badly.
Did they tease anything?
Yeah, they teased the whole thing with Brandy.
Oh, of course, yes, sorry. Yeah. It's just because I've literally just come off the back of Five Nights at Freddy's, so I'm like trying to remember. That definitely teased something. Yeah. I thought Brandy wasn't giving...
Having not seen her movie.
She was just talking. She's great in the second one. You really should go back and watch the second one.
I would really like to now. So.
I think you'll really enjoy it. So yeah, no, I don't think this deserves to be here. And actually, I think I might bump my rating up because it's been sitting on it and percolating. And actually, I kind of like the silliness of the dialogue, and it is very Gen Z, and I can see the humor in that. Like even at the end, we're like, oh, Stevie's still alive, and she's like, should we kill her? It's just like it's fun, it's silly, it's it's
goofy.
It's girl horror, like girl math.
Shall we stay on girl horror and talk about Five Nights at Freddy's 2?
Is this girl horror?
Well, there's a lot of girlies in it.
There's a chica.
There's chica.
There's two chicas.
There's two chicas. The little girl is a girl, even though she's not that little anymore. And then, the worst police officer in movie history. I can't even remember her name.
Also, Chica's in hot pants now, y'all.
There you go.
In a little crop top and hot pants, because why not?
So Five Nights at Freddy's 2. You've literally just finished this 10-20 minutes ago?
Literally hopped straight off of the post-credit sequence, straight onto the mic, hot off the press. Should we do a bit of a recap for like our relationship with the franchise? Because number one might have new listeners, number two, most importantly, I can't remember what we spoke about it last time, because we said that it was nominated and then we realized it's actually only nominated for a performance, which, having rewatched the first one again, I'm like, this is silly. I don't know why that is the case, as we'll have many of those, I think.
They just don't know what to do with the supporting actress category. They just don't know what to do. But yeah, my relationship is that I used to teach a kid who loved it. That was all I ever knew about it. Watched it for the Razzies. Quite enjoyed it. Was surprised when I saw a new one was coming out, because I remember it not being that well received. But look, they definitely, in my opinion, got a lot more budget for this second one.
Yes. As soon as they showed the other Freddy's franchisee place, I was like, oh, we've got some money to spend this time. We have a boat, a little water ride. Yeah. So I did enjoy that, and then it all went downhill from there, really.
Yeah. So, not a fan?
No, not a FNAF fan. I thought it was FNAF.
Oh no.
So I went to see the first one in the cinema. I've never played the games, but I really loved the idea of the games. I think it sounded like really unsettling, and I think I've ended up downloading a few whenever they've been on sale on PlayStation, so I do want to get around to doing it. Watched it in the cinema, and because it had been so badly received, classic me was like, that wasn't that bad. I didn't know. I think I knew some of the lore about like the kids and everything, but I was still interested in how it all transpired. I found the police officer in it incredibly annoying until she revealed who she was, and then I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why you're behaving like that. And then she just continued to do that in the second one. I was like, oh, okay, I still find you annoying.
Yeah, that was... I didn't feel like they did her any favours. I was pleased for her, that actress. She's not the strongest of actresses. This is the third of her films I think we've covered for the Razzies. She was
the other one?
Mac and Rita, the Diane Keating body swap film.
That was her. Oh, right.
Because I
was thinking about that the other day.
Well, it's because Diane Keaton died.
No, but I think it was just completely random,
Oh,
and
yeah,
maybe but that's probably
yeah.
how my brain worked. It was on a delay.
But yeah, I know her as Guinevere Beck from the You franchise, but bless her, spoilers for You, a show that has aired long ago. She's killed off in the first season, and it didn't get big until the second season when it got bought by Netflix. So she didn't get any of the buzz or the joy, bless her. So I just feel sorry for her because I think she's trying and trucking along. But I am honestly surprised she didn't turn up in any of the acting categories for this one this
And
year.
it's not because she's done like a particularly bad job in
It's
this. I
just
just
really
think the
one note.
character
It's so
is,
one
yeah,
note. But is it
and
the
she doesn't really get.
characterization?
I do in this. I do think it's characterization because I didn't have a problem with her performance. I had a problem with her character.
Yeah.
As I said, I've explained like with the first one, it's just why. Even I had it on earlier, the first one, and Steve was like, obviously she goes to the, well, not obviously, but spoilers. Just recapping, she goes to Freddy's, introduces herself to Josh Hutcherson's character. She's a police officer. He's a security guard. She's kind of like walking around like she not owns the place a little bit, but she's very comfortable. She's talking about all this stuff, giving him warnings and stuff. And as she leaves, she just gives him more warnings and all this. Stephen goes, I just tell her to fuck off. So I was like, this is interesting. I was like, there is a reason why she's acting like this, but interesting that you picked up on how obnoxious and annoying she was. Not obnoxious, but like just really like, if you want to say something,
Just
say it. Don't
say
beat around the whole building to just warn me about something anyway. And I think what they tried to do with her character this time was explore her relationship with her dad, the villain, which I thought would be really interesting, but they didn't really give it much time to breathe or explore other than like a dream chase sequence and a new brother.
Yeah, I did. I kind of saw the brother thing coming. I liked this though. We had a good time. This time I watched with my partner, and he watched the first one the day before. Without, I didn't rewatch it. He watched it without me because he wanted to watch this one. But he actually really enjoyed it. I liked it too. Like a 3-starer again. Nothing perfect, but fun. We were really impressed with the upgrades they'd done to the animatronics, the upgrades they'd done to the set, and the upgrades to the kills. The first one had some good kills, but they all seemed to like happen off screen or in shadow. This one seemed to be more willing to do some kills on screen. I really enjoyed all of the lore with the little girl from the different franchise. We found it just fun and silly, and yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't really enjoy it.
See, I didn't even
I
write
think
any notes. I didn't have anything. I just had a fun time.
I think I just because I've just come off of watching the first one as well.
See, I thought it was an improvement on the first one.
No, I didn't. I had to look into if the marionette was a game character, which she is, and I'm really happy about that they've carried on adapting and developing those stories. It just felt a bit like they didn't put any effort in, to be honest.
Whereas I literally just found my review and I'm like, huge improvement in the production design, cliched but fun. Why is this Razzie nominated? I thought they'd put so much more effort in.
Well, you said you liked the new animatronics. I didn't. I don't find this scary at all. And which is really annoying because if you were in a room with those fuckers, you'd be creeped out. And I think because I haven't played the game, but it's one of those ones, sometimes you haven't played something or watched something and like the allure of it's like it creeps you out because you don't know what to expect. I already felt like the first one didn't scare me enough because they weren't really showing the kills. And then this one, I can't even. Can you describe some of the kills? Because I can't even remember them.
So one of them gets like eaten in the river. That was cool. He's like in the little river where the boat. He's in the dark and he slips into the river where the boat goes. It's very like It's a Small World. And then all the little munchkin things like appear in front of him in the water. and they like grab him down and eat him. Oh no, that creeped me out.
I might
And
have
then
to rewind quickly and have
they made
quick
McKenna,
look through
they
again.
made McKenna Grace like creepy ass giant long limbed lady. She was eaten by the girl in the box.
Yeah, I don't know. None of it impacted me whatsoever. I found the first one at least because it stayed inside the building and you've got the stalking element to it was much scarier. But equally with the first one, I just find them being nice to the girl takes all of the threat away, even though they do kill other people. I'm like, they're just killing the bad people, so why would I be scared of them? They're not, but you know.
That element really didn't work for me this time around. Oh, I did like when they killed the annoying principal. That element didn't work for me this time around in that...
But when he squeezes his head.
Yeah. Well done on them for keeping the same young actress, but she looked too old for the naivety of which her character is written, and I just found it completely unbelievable that she'd want to keep going back and being like, that robot is my friend. It's like, girl, grow up.
It should have been more of an exploration of her trauma from the first one. Because this is what, okay, here we go. This is what I liked about the first one was, whilst it was a bit ham-fisted with the whole, hey, we're going to set fire. It's always this way, right? Video game setting, there's no main protagonist because you are the protagonist. So we have to create a protagonist with a backstory and enough of an interesting arc to go on that fits in with this setting, right? So I thought it was really interesting and I quite liked and was invested in the story of his missing brother, the dream sequences. And whilst I think that's quite a lot what quite a lot of people didn't like about the first one because they felt it deviated too much from Freddy's, it gave me a little bit of substance for these characters, a bit of threat and stakes, and a reason, a motivation for like whatever's going on in his life. You had the custody thing. It worked for me because it made the characters feel like this is lived in. I felt like it was a little bit underwritten, the fact that William did kill his little brother as well, because I'm like, how did you not know about Freddy's and 5 children going missing around the same time that your brother went missing, if you are that obsessed 20 years later with finding his killer? So I feel like there's a little bit of underwrittenness there. Fine. This time it's just like the main characters don't have a life outside of chasing these animatronics. And by the way, there's 3 times the amount of animatronics here. You've got new versions, even though they are from an older pizzeria, so that makes no sense. And they're all new and shiny, so they don't look scary at all, except Chica's now wearing a crop top and hot pants because that's weird. And then you've got the deranged versions, which are like prototypes, because of course the prototypes are going to be made to look super scary for a kids' family restaurant. But I'm sorry, that Chica was terrifying. More of that. Like, I loved that because it's like, that's actually scary. I will pass over the fact it doesn't make any sense that they look scary. When the old ones came back at the end, I was like, I think it's the kind of what's the word, like the kind of like worn with age,
the fuzziness and the dirt,
that is a little bit more creepy. These shiny robots, I couldn't give a shit, honestly, just because they've got, oh no, their eyes have turned red, that means they're going to kill someone now. So it's like, unless they're literally chomping on these people, I needed, for that to work, it needed to be more of a gore thing because you're not scaring me. So I didn't find it interesting at all. I found the like when the animatronics were off, controlled by the marionette and like creeping people out and stuff, I checked out by then.
I liked that bit.
I liked the backstory of the girl, because Jesus Christ, those parents were fucking awful telling her to go away. I'm like, she's literally telling you a child is in danger and you do not give a shit. And I was a bit like, is this just her interpretation of it,
her memory of it? But then also,
and I would have liked them to explore that, so that it turns out that actually there's an element of she's getting her revenge and that's valid, but it turns out that that's not what was happening, but her dad was neglecting her. Just something to chew on. But we did get Skeet Ulrich in
Yeah.
this, like giving, like performance of his life bar scream in a 1 minute monologue and a little voice note at the end of the credits.
I mean,
teeing up the next one.
He's great as Jughead's dad in Riverdale. So.
Oh, okay. So maybe not the second best, maybe the third best. There was elements here. I just feel like they didn't expand on anything. They were just like, hey, we just shoot the animatronics stomping around. But then I guess that's what the fans wanted, but I just found it like really boring.
I didn't realise they were setting up for a third one until towards the end, because I was a bit like, where are we going with all this? And I was like, we're going for a third film.
Yeah, so rather than doing what they've teased to be interesting for the third one, rather than just doing that in the second one, they've used this as a bridge. I found the marionette interesting because it completely takes it out of real life. I know there are kids' ghosts in the things. It's not real life. But the whole creepiness of it was that, well, there are dead bodies in there though.
Yeah.
Whereas this was just full on, oh, so now it's just like some shape-shifting ghost thing. Nah. And I don't know if that ever happened in the game or whatever. And I understand if it would, because, the game's set up as these animatronics, but actually there's something supernatural going on, and maybe like in a split second thing you see. But then it's like, did you see that, or did you just think you saw it? Whereas in this, it's like, okay, no, she's just some weird ghost thing. I wasn't here for it.
You were not. It's funny when you're a lot more negative on something than I am.
I know, because it's rare.
Yeah, it is
well,
rare.
Not necessarily than you, but it's just rare that I am.
I think this, just compared to some of the other films, really wasn't that bad. There were a lot.
Well, no.
There are a lot worse films. Maybe not in this category, but some of the other films we've watched for this series, there's a lot worse.
Yeah, and I do agree with you on the point about the girl as well, that I think when she was crying when they were dying at the end, I was like, oh, give over.
Yeah.
Give over.
How old are you meant to be in this?
They needed to show the kids as the ghosts a bit more. And I think they needed to make it clear that her friends were the ghosts, because it does seem like she's just really into these toys, basically.
It was trying to do what, like, Megan 2.0 wasn't that well received, but I thought it was great. Really pleased that hasn't shown up in these nominations, because I thought it would. But it felt like
I haven't seen it, by the way.
That's fine, I won't spoil it any more than what's in the trailers. But it felt like they were trying to do what they did with that, in that there's a good element of that film where the young girl in that has obviously matured since the first one, and that becomes an element of the film, in that she's constantly trying to get her aunt to recognise that she isn't a kid this time, and that they have to loop her in, and that she deserves to be part of the team with and without Megan. But then also there's the flip side, that when she was a young child and she was vulnerable following the death of her parents, that Megan was the one that was there for her. So you see it tapping into that, or you're a teen or a tween, so I can still talk to you and bring out that child in you. And the character has that internal battle of, I need to be a grown-up and not trust this machine, but the nostalgia in me wants to trust it. Whereas this seemed to just be treating her like she was a 6-year-old.
Because it was just a copy and paste of, how can we do another film? Oh, let's bring a new character in. And, like, what happened? Nothing happened. There was no, and I don't mind when nothing happens if there's character exploration. No, there was no character arcs for anyone. Nothing, no one grew, as, I really, like, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, I didn't like it.
Fair enough. Well,
I didn't even find it fun.
To steal some of that energy, let's go on to our third.
Oh yeah, what else have we got? Oh, Smurfs.
Smurfs, a film that made me so angry. I actually went back and lowered my Letterboxd start for it.
Did you actually?
This was an abomination to cinema. An abomination.
I've actually rated it higher than higher than The Strangers and Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Strangers 1 or Strangers 2?
Both of them. I hated both of them.
Daisy, you need to get out of here. My partner was angry when he
saw
so
chapter one was 2 stars. Sorry, chapter 1 was 2 stars. Chapter 2 I did 2.5.
outrageous.
The reason was it made me physically angry.
And that is how I feel about the Smurfs, which I gave 1 star.
Okay. We'll pop the pin in the strangers and we'll do that nice segue to the Smurfs.
My partner was very viscerally angry when he saw that you had rated this 3 stars on Letterboxd. He thought
It's 2.5.
I think when we looked at it, you had
It was-
rated it 3.
No, because I never, because I was going to go and change it and I never did.
Okay,
It was always 2.5.
That you rated 3 then.
I did Bride Hard, Alarum. No, Alarum was 2.
Maybe it was one of them. Anyway, something got him.
He just hates all my ratings, so it could be any of them.
He does. He likes your Letterboxd though. He commented that you watched 50 First Dates yesterday because we watched a bit of it on Channel 5, and he was like, "Oh, I wonder if she was watching it on Channel 5."
No, weirdly, I wasn't. I just chose it on Sky. How weird!
It was on Channel 5 because we watched half of it.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so I love 50 First Dates.
That's why it made him chuckle. Okay, so, the people of Belgium are owed an apology for this movie.
Fair.
The Flemish don't deserve this. Animation style looks cheap. There's virtually no story. It's the singing, the random singing and songs are just awful. The storyline is mostly stolen from the My Little Pony franchise. When the fuck did Smurfs have magic books in them? Why? Oh, why? Especially with Smurfs, but most kids' things. Do we have to take them to the real world? What is the fucking obsession in Hollywood of taking a cartoon and like, but what if they're in the real world?
But then you don't even interact with any real people in it either. Because Gargamel and stuff are animated too.
And that made no sense to me. Because Gargamel's castle was in Germany in the real world, but everyone in Gargamel's castle was a cartoon. So what world did they live in? Were they in Germany or were they in the Smurf world?
I don't think they thought it through.
It felt so much longer than 89 minutes. The last 2 songs made no sense in the context of the movie. How many fucking times I'm gonna smurf you off? No, you smurf off. No, I'll smurf you off. Let's have a smurf off. Fuck off and die. And I love Smurfs. I have all of my car keys have little Smurfs on them. I got sad when my dad sold my Smurf figurines because they were worth something and he sold them and it made me so sad. Like, I'm a Smurf girly. I used to have one in a little car.
Okay, I have no relationship with the Smurfs.
I adore the Smurfs. So,
okay, so I understand why this might have hurt you.
But it was also just bad. The script was awful. The plot, like you said, made no sense. They were in the real world and they kept doing like this stupid sequence where they went through the club to get through to the mini club in the disco ball. That was 5 minutes of nothing. It was 5 minutes of stock footage of people's feet while bad animated Smurfs bounced and went, oh!
It is put your kid in front of Cocomelon.
Kids deserve more.
And that's probably why I liked it, because I could just turn my damn brain off. I didn't like it, by the way, but I just didn't hate it like you did, because I just didn't have an opinion on it whatsoever.
And why is there a Smurf multiverse? You know,
wait,
they go like
remind me of this.
Well, that's like they leave Smurf world to go to the human world because it's like different. Right. It's like we don't not everything.
And then there was like all of this carry on about all these books.
Yeah.
And then there was like a ginger Papa Smurf, and then there was a blonde Papa Smurf.
They're not.
And they
canon.
they were all voiced by stalwarts of the TV and cinema screen.
I thought the voice acting was bad. I'm ashamed.
Who did Papa Smurf again?
Not Ron Swanson. Ron
Swanson did Ron.
Ron.
And then Kurt Russell did the blonde one.
The Thor one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's John Goodman. Of course
it
is.
Yeah.
My beloved.
Exactly.
My Fred Flintstone. Yeah. How dare he? And then, the fact that James Corden's Smurf is called No Name, and he's No Name Smurf, but then he's Magic Smurf, but then he's No Name Smurf, but then he's Magic Smurf. Oh, that was what annoyed me, because the whole plot of this film is that No Name Smurf doesn't have a thing he's good at, and that's what all the Smurfs are named after. They're named after the thing they're good at.
And can I ask, is that from the original, that they're named?
Their
They don't have individual names.
They don't have individual names, but there was never
No.
like context behind that. It was just that's Brainy Smurf, that's so and so Smurf. As far as I'm aware, there was never any
But they were called that in the originals.
Yeah, they were called like Brainy Smurf and
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not like they've just made this whole
But
adjective name thing up.
what annoyed me was that the whole thing of I need to find my purpose and why am I the only one that doesn't have a purpose is a literal My Little Pony Friendship in Magic long-running storyline.
But it's also a very archetypal storyline.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind that too much. I quite liked that idea of like, okay, let's look at the Smurfs. Oh, they're all named after.
Well, they got rid of influence to Smurf. There was there was one in the original
it to like
trailer.
Vanity Smurf or something.
Vanity already existed.
Oh, okay. So I kind of I respected the idea of like, okay, what are the Smurfs? Who's going to be our protagonist? Oh, well, it should be someone that, you know, like what it's kind of like what's the word when you like have a protagonist that is a little bit plainer so that you can project yourself into.
I can't think of what you're saying. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So it's like it is a plot device to do that, and then I get why it would be Smurfette because she's the only girl.
Rihanna giving us nothing.
I did not understand the casting decision, but behind having Rihanna and James Corden as the two leads. And that does not mix. That is oil and...
do their little songs together, and like that's so. This one is the only one of the three we're talking about today that has more than one nomination. It is nominated for the screen combo of Rihanna and James Corden,
and I feel like it should be.
We often talk about that being a ridiculous, stupid category, but here they are. They're proving this is a correct. Yeah. This is the point of this category.
I just didn't get it. There was no. It was.
Both
my
of
brain
them
can't
were giving
compute.
Some of the worst voice acting and some of the worst singing I've ever heard. James Corden actually does have an okay voice, and I'm I don't mind him. He's I know people hate him. I don't hate him. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I don't have that aversion. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I don't have that aversion to him. This movie made me understand why everyone has an aversion to him.
Right.
And Rihanna she did the animated movie Home. She also did a load of music for that. I thought she was great in that and really good in the music for that. She was bored between her baby's naps and just doing the lines while pumping milk. Like, this was...
Genuinely. Like, it didn't sound like she was speaking to anyone. It was so isolated.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's not... I don't want to say the classic thing of they didn't even sound like they were talking to each other. Because not even that. It's just like, they were, but it was just like... You know that weird thing of like when two people meet and you're like, you shouldn't be in the same room?
Yeah.
It was weird. It's like, you know, when like shows would have like a weird celebrity guest and you're like, how do you even know that Coronation Street's a thing? Yeah. Like, not that it would be that, but you know.
Oh, it like was when really... the actress that played Dot Cotton was on Graham Norton with Lady Gaga and they became like best friends.
Yeah. It was kind of like that, but like derogatory rather than like joyful.
That was very
like,
cute. Yeah.
Because there was chemistry there. Whereas this was just like, so random, and I was just like, I can't see, these pieces are not fitting together. They are rejecting each other. The magnets that are, you know, when you try and push two magnets together and they go
and it's the thing,
it felt like that in my body.
There wasn't any voice acting. They were literally both just reading the lines, and it's like, are either of them a big enough draw to make anyone watch a movie now?
Rihanna is Smurfette.
Oh, and she wasn't.
Unfortunately,
Rihanna was Rihanna.
Yeah. I couldn't. Again, everything was so disjointed. It didn't flow. It wasn't cohesive. It was just weird.
It was exhausting.
I was watching an animated film and I was like, that is James Corden speaking. Yeah. Now, that is Rihanna speaking. Yeah. Now, that is Rihanna singing. Yeah. Now that, you know, it felt very like that,
and the songs didn't fit with the vibe of the film.
Not at all. Not at all. No. Like the beginning big dance. They clearly wanted a TikTok off the back of that. Yeah. So bad they wanted a TikTok dance.
And then why, like, they randomly break into a Bollywood number at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
No shade to Bollywood.
Fair,
but there's been no allusion to anything Bollywood-esque for the rest of this movie.
Are they big in in that
India?
market.
I don't know. I was just like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing now. It's fun and all, but it doesn't make any sense.
It was giving like the Ice Spice SpongeBob song. You know, it's just
That's, you
like,
did mention that previously.
it's like, what am I listening to here?
Yeah.
Like, I understand that there's this genre of music and people like it, but I guess the kids, like, do they I guess they do,
Kids deserve better.
but you know, on their old calculators, and they hear a Rihanna song and they think they're trying to make Smurfs Gen Alpha cool, and I don't know. Have we asked any Gen Alphas what they think?
I wouldn't want to subject a Gen Alpha to this movie. I felt bad
Maybe they've
subjecting my
already
cats to it.
maybe they're already too brain rotted to.
True.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like it
But
probably.
then, like, my 4-year-old nephew watches infomercials about tractors and can tell you the inner workings of a tractor. He doesn't want
Good
this
lad.
brain rot.
Good
He
lad.
wants educational literature about
Yeah,
the inner workings of vehicles.
I can't see my 5-year-old nephew particularly enjoying this. It feels babyish. He loves all the Marvel stuff. He knows all of the Marvel names.
Yeah.
He was
But
watching
also-
Great Showman the other day. It's like, this isn't enough. It isn't enough for kids, really.
It's all of the jokes were for adults, and I know that isn't.
That is the one saving grace. Is that I did laugh quite a few times.
What?
I can't even remember. I think it was just some of the delivery of like Dan Levy, especially.
I was so angry with him. I was like, "Sir, you
I
have
don't know, there
Schitt's
was-
Creek money.
there was-
you come
there was
from
just-
a comedy dynasty."
There was just some moments, and I think it's because everything else was so bland that it took me by surprise. But I did actually really laugh.
No, but again, it is that thing of like, you know, when you watch the Shrek movies, there is a lot of adult humour in the Shrek movies, but then there's also a lot of kid humour.
But there's also a good story.
Yeah, but this only had adult humour. So what were the kids meant
So
to be
what is-
laughing at?
Yeah, that is weird.
And then did kids
What is there for the kids to enjoy other
kids
than just seeing little
understand
blue things run around?
multiverses? Yeah, be like, oh, maybe there's a Smurf behind my drink in the nightclub that I understand what a nightclub is. Like, the kid doesn't
Yeah.
like, oh, and like, oh, we're gonna.
Who is this for?
We're gonna we're gonna hide in a Deliveroo order. What 4-year-old knows what Deliveroo is?
Yeah.
I
Who
hate
is this for?
It's for stock prices.
It's for the shareholders.
It's for the shareholders.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
We could
I didn't.
but we could have this.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I struggled to get through this,
Oof.
and I think I don't know. I probably should have rated it lower, but I don't really like to go back and rate things after I've like
watched them,
watched them too long ago, and just heard
Mhm.
someone else's opinion, and then it made me change my mind because it obviously just caught me on a good day.
So this is, let's have a look. One. Oh, it is actually not my worst rated. I gave it 1.5 stars. And so far, 2 other films for this year's Razzies, I only gave 1 star. So I did rate 2 movies worse than this.
And again, I think it's just that I need to start like being a bit more self-aware. But because the expectations were so low, I was just like, all right, fine.
Whereas I thought, because I really like the Smurfs, I thought I would find some joy in this.
Okay.
I thought
okay,
I'd
yeah,
find an
I didn't
ounce
think
of joy.
I didn't think I was going to enjoy it at all, and I didn't.
Yeah.
But I laughed a few times, and I was just like, it's fine. And I think I did enjoy the music at points. I just didn't understand. It didn't work cohesively for me with the film. But then I'm like, well, when we had animated films at that not all of them, like Shrek had amazing music and covers and stuff, but like
That's sort of its
they
own.
they would have like whoever was big in the noughties doing a song for or whatever.
Shark Tale had Christina Aguilera's Power.
That's exactly what I was thinking of, like Shark Tale, I don't know.
Also had Oscar winner Robert De Niro.
And Martin Scorsese, who is I've been shown now voicing another character for the new Mandalorian film, and I am buzzing because Mr. Scorsese, that is your best piece of work.
I've never actually seen it.
Being a puffer fish with your eyebrows. Unreal.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god, you've never seen Shark? Oh my god, please watch it. It's so good.
I was a bit old when it came out, and I thought it looked really stupid.
No, it's really funny though. There's this little like, the shark wants to be a vegetarian, and Robert De Niro's shark has even got a little mole, and it's and he's just like, just eat the fish. And he's like, and Jack Black's like, but I don't want to eat the fish. He's like, just eat the prawn. And then the prawn comes in and he goes, please don't eat me. I've got a family and I've got a little prawn and he's doing really well. Like, it's just so silly. Please
Wait,
watch
is
it.
this where that viral thing of he lost a leg and he's only got half a body?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
wait, but it makes him all happy in the end. True story. Yeah, it's really good. Please watch
I
it.
saw that as a viral thing one day, and I was like, and everyone was responding to it in the comments. I was like, right, this is a reference I don't understand.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, that is a good
great.
kids film.
Smurfs not great.
No.
Okay, so we have 5 nominees in this category. We have War of the Worlds, Snow White, Smurfs, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I keep wanting to say I Know Who Killed Me, by the way. Every time I write it down, every time I Google it, anything, I want to say that.
For me, I wouldn't have I Know What You Did Last Summer, Snow White, or Five Nights at Freddy's 2 in this category. I can see, especially Snow White, why it is here, but I quite like Snow White, so I wouldn't have it here. I hated War of the Worlds. That is one of the 2 movies I rated lower than Smurfs. I gave that a 1 star because that is not really even a movie. But for this category, my personal winner would be Smurfs because I think it's more insulting to the source text than War of the Worlds.
That's fair. I think in terms of enjoyment factor, I do genuinely think that I was more bored watching Five Nights at Freddy's 2 than I was the Smurfs. Because I had I wanted something out of it, whereas the Smurfs, I'm like, okay, family film, like, dumb my brain down for a little bit, colours on a screen, let's go Coco Melon mode. And it was fine, and I laughed a little bit, but equally I don't think it's a good film, and it was really weird why they did all of that. But Five Nights at Freddy's, having just watched that, I'm like, oh, is that it? Literally, I saw that I had 20 minutes left to check the time to message you, and I was like, oh, so that's where we're leaving it then.
I'm so sad that you didn't like it because we had a good time. We had quite a good time watching it. Like, he's genuinely angry it's nominated. He's annoyed it's nominated. He doesn't understand why.
Like, maybe it's because I watched the first one as well today.
He only watched them a day apart, and he thought it was a step up.
Yeah. And that's absolutely fine, but I don't get it.
How it goes. It just confuses me when you're more negative.
I found it boring, and it kind of took anything out of what I would be interested in watching a Five Nights at Freddy's film for. The whole thing is a one location horror, and you've just taken the scary things out and made them not scary.
Yeah.
Why do I care? I don't care about any of the characters. You've made Josh Hutcherson's character not have any development. You've tried to do some development with the police officer. It started off interesting when she was in the school bus and she was just like, and then this happened. I was like, this is, it's interesting where this is going to go. And then it was just the whole film was just her walking around holding Chica's hand, being like, cool, we're friends again now. I just don't think anything happened other than the animatronics stomping around and being not scary. So I'm sorry, I really tried to see something that was
so you would give
salvable in it.
You also
I would give War of the Worlds.
Okay.
Just to be clear, it is the word, like, it's egregious. Is that even the right use of the word? I always say that word, and I don't even know if it's the right use.
I think it's a fine use.
Outstandingly bad and shocking. Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Especially given the source text and the fact that they made it corporate propaganda, and it was a terrible lead performance. Whereas this, like, Five Nights at Freddy's was a well-made film. I just didn't get out of it what I wanted to get out of it. If I didn't really care for the franchise, I didn't really know about anything, then I probably would have enjoyed it more. But because I was expecting something, it didn't deliver that. I would say that my personal least enjoyment out of just, like, boredom, but War of the Worlds was more entertaining because of how bad it was, but it was the worst.
Yeah. There we go.
So that's where we are with that one.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of these films aren't elsewhere, so I'm kind of that's
Yeah.
that.
I think that's it. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to giving. I know what you did last summer. The reboot
Mm-hmm.
another go sometime. Kind of knowing what I'm
I
getting myself in for. I think I'll enjoy it even more.
I do hope that they do get their sequel.
Yeah, it would be fun. I think. And then yeah, looking forward to absolutely ripping The Strangers to pieces.
So curious not to spoil it, but I watched it with my partner and his dad, and we all agreed it was like nonsense, but we had a great time.
So no, I think the nonsense tipped the wrong way
Yeah.
for me.
But we three of us sat with whiskey watching it and communally shouting at the screen.
Yeah, we can chat about it. I don't want to get too. And I probably won't even have that much to say because it was just a visceral reaction as opposed to anything kind of particularly bad, and that's why it sat with me because I'm like, it wasn't bad. I just really didn't get on with it. Anyway, we won't go too far down that road. We'll look forward to recording that next one.
Yeah.
Where we look at it's our last kind of group of categories, isn't it? Looking at
actors and
actresses.
actresses.
So there'll be a lot of different films we discuss across that, with some films we've already touched on before, but not too many.
Not too many, actually. They're quite scattered categories this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just one of those ones where people did just do a whole, I'm going to nominate everyone for everything.
Well, no, and then it didn't seem to happen that way. But
no, I know, but you've got I don't know, like, I feel like if people nominated some of these people for acting, they must have nominated the film as well.
So I did look, because we were very confused, again, not to harp on about The Strangers, but we were very confused that it's a one nomination for a supporting actress who's not really even in the film very much.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing that
I did find a long list, and it was nominated in a lot of other categories in the long list. So that makes more sense as to how this one still stayed in.
Still, it was confusing. But anyway, we clearly want to talk about The Strangers. We're going to have to stop ourselves for the next episode. So that is a wrap on our worst, let me get it right, rip-off, sequel, remake,
rip-off sequel.
Remake, rip-off, sequel for Razzies for 2025. we're gonna be raring to go on The Strangers for the next one, so tune back in for the next episode.